Ladies and gentlemen, Team No Sleep is in the building. What is this? August 30th, 2022. Is it the last day of the month? I don't know.
No, I think we got one more, but we
Oh,
good. We
man.
good, man. We blessed.
We got to do it one more time. Okay. Montel, I don't know what. Talk to me, brother. How you living?
Man, blessed as usual, man. Got the
Yeah.
fam and doing the big things. Good luck to my son over at Lehigh. They opened up this week.
Okay.
Playing their first football game as a coach, and then my other son, Blake, playing for Southwest Minnesota. He plays this week. So, man, just, good around, man. My kids are blessed. My daughters are going college tours. So
Yeah.
I can't complain, man. I can't complain at all, man. I thank God every day I get to breathe and be able to enjoy my family.
I love it, man. Listen, you can't complain because no one gonna listen anyway.
Ain't that right? Ain't no one
Yeah.
listening.
You got to keep moving regardless, man. So listen, let's go ahead and get into it. Like I say, it's August 30th, 2022. We're gonna talk the social impact of sport. We got a lot of things that are happening. We're gonna start with some tough subjects, but that's always what we do. We start off with the social impacting stories. Let's talk about some crises, unfortunately happening in Mississippi. Let's start here, right? Let's start here. We got a couple other things to get into, but man, this encompasses a little more than football. But Mississippi is having a bad time. No proper water. A lot of flooding going on. On top of the flooding going on, they had some pumps that went down in their water treatment plants.
Yes.
So no one in Jackson, Mississippi right now has fresh, clean running water. They are under a mandate of boiling water. I saw a story today. Actually, this video I got on the screen. They are going to the local Targets and Walmarts. They're buying water. They're boiling the water that comes out of the faucets. This is a horrible situation. State of emergency. And I don't know if you can see at the top there, it says Mississippi governor declares state of emergency with end of Jackson water crises nowhere in sight. Man.
Yep. This is huge, man. There should be, federal government involvement. Everything should be coming there to save these people, because no valid drinking water. And like you said, just to bathe and do the things we need to do, they have to boil the water because the water is contaminated.
Yeah. Can't flush it. I mean, you think about it, you take it back to that level, right? No flushing.
Yes.
You can't flush the toilet. You can't wash clothes. You can't wash dishes. None of that. Nothing.
And this is and like you said, there's no site. They don't know an end date when this is going to be, when they're going to be able to get drinking water and get these things. Now, obviously, drinking water is the most important. So I know that everybody's giving out, crates and crates of water to the people that need it. But I saw one thing today: they were only allowed to give out one crate per customer because so many people, so much in demand for such a big city. So this is a crisis, man. And the sports part, obviously, we know Jackson State football, and all the sports that are going here, and Deion, I know, is going to do his part because he's been a great leader of that community. I know he's going to do his part to kind of help what he can do, and probably still try to maintain doing a good job on the field.
Yeah.
But this is bigger than football. You know what I mean? This is bigger than.
And the reason we bringing this up, folks, and I'll put the Deion story here because he was talking about, listen, they're in crisis mode. They're getting ready to play this weekend, Sunday, but he makes a statement in this story right here. He's got to take care of his players, but his players got to take care of themselves and got to take care of their family. So they got to find hotels. They got to find clean water so they can take showers and take care of those basic needs. This could be, unfortunately, a good test for Deion to show his leadership and his reach outside of just Mississippi and outside of Jackson State, outside of just football, right? He can pick up the phone and he can call some folks and he can send in, right? He's got enough influence in what he does and what he's done, what he's proven that he can do to maybe bring in some of those extra pallets of water, some of those extra pallets of hand sanitizer, things like that. Again, this is unfortunate that it had to come to something like this, but this could be an interesting a pedestal for Deion. Talk to me.
I think Deion will be able to get his team and them out of Jackson, right, for them to be able to prepare properly and go away. But again, that's only 120 players, right?
True.
That's 120 people he can salvage and save, along with his coaching staff, to take care of them on a different level, even out of his own pocketbook if he had to.
Yeah,
that's no problem. But I think Deion is more about that Jackson State and Jackson community. Yeah. You're right. I think he has such a pool and such a reach where he can call some of his NFL buddies and have them deliver trucks and trucks and trucks of water, at least drinking water.
Yeah.
I think we got to look at the bigger picture. Just not the drinking water. like you said, taking a shower. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to Mississippi. Mississippi is very humid,
Yeah,
very
man.
swampy.
Yeah.
So that means a lot of infections can happen easily. We're not talking about just young people that can get away with it. We're talking about people with diabetes, older people that need to clean things, that do these things, hospitals that need clean water to be able to wash and sterilize water. We have all these things that are kind of coming into play, and it's a state of emergency that they have no means for this water. The water's been contaminated, and you got to also think we in the United States is already in a water shortage. We got so much going on, and this is a major city being hit like this. And this is a little bit different than Flint, right? Flint, there was a treatment issue that they had to do that was contaminated. This is something treatment ain't going to come in right away.
This is almost worse. This is almost worse.
This is worse,
right? Because this is natural disaster. This is the flood. This is plus that pump blew up or that pump broke. But right now we got people pointing fingers. We got politicians pointing fingers. We got the mayor talking about the governor, talking about the water resources board and all that. Saying, look, we have some maintenance that needed to be done on these pumps, and we knew it was going to bust, or we knew something was going to happen. That's why people buy insurance. We don't know when stuff happens, but unfortunately, this happened at a really inopportune time. Again, when they're having some floods out there. So, shouts out to everyone coming in the comments. We see it, but yeah, we talking about the situation in Mississippi about the floods and the lack of water, and then how that relates to what Coach Sanders is doing with his team at Jackson State.
Yeah, I think that, and I really do. I mean, I pray for those people, man, because I think this is us being on the West Coast. We haven't had a situation like this, obviously, and hope we never have to have a situation like this. But I think that people don't understand. Jackson, Mississippi, is kind of what we would consider maybe a rural town, right? A rural area, as far as we're concerned. It's not like a big city like we have in the state of California. But the problem is, can you imagine, like you just said? Imagine not flushing your toilets for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. This is serious, right? So again, and this is above sports.
Yeah. Imagine if you're not hydrated though, because when you're not hydrated, you get diarrhea, right? Or diarrhea symptoms. Yeah. So now you're not hydrated, you can't flush your toilet. You got people that are already sick. You're limited to the drinking water that you can get. And right now, there is no bathing water unless you sterilize it and hopefully you can kind of wash yourself as you go along. But that's not really cleaning yourself like you normally do.
Yeah.
I think this is a bigger thing that people are not understanding. And the spotlight is not on it as sharp as someone like us would say, because they're not digging deep. They're just going to say on the surface, hey, contaminated water, they're handing out water, it'll be over in a couple of weeks. It's not. It's something like Flint. It lasts on for weeks and weeks because people get sick. Like you said, you have this buildup of festers of diseases and stuff coming because we can't flush the toilet. We can't do these things. All these things come into play that they got to forward think to kind of cure and get out of it. And sports-wise, like I said, Deion will be able to take the Jackson State Athletics out of that situation and go host them somewhere else. Maybe at Grambling State or some nearby place where they can go and get prepared and get ready to continue to play because that's part of his job. But I hope he uses the star power to call back on those guys that all got that money and those guys that have money to say, hey, we need you guys to come help us fix the pump and deliver some drinking water to all these people out here in the community.
Yeah, that
would our players are gonna be all right.
Yeah, that would be amazing, right? And again, like I said at the out, this would be a really cool, pick up the bat phone situation for Deion to go ahead and call some folks in Mississippi that he knows, in Miami where they're going to go play, but just call folks around in the area who may have some family that are affected and say, listen, I know I got one saved in the hat. Can you help out these citizens, these families, these people that are around the influence of this particular team and get some water and get some resources to them folks? That would be an amazing story to come out of this dark hour that's happening in all of Mississippi right now that, again, like we said, is unfortunately not coming to an end anytime soon.
Absolutely. I just send my prayers out to those people that are affected by that. And like I said, I hope they get through the struggle safely and healthy and with no problem. But man, I just think this is going to be a looming situation, kind of like that Flint situation.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit because Tallboy's talking about, again, depending on the society and depending on the residents of this area, right? Again, this is Mississippi. We talking about Flint. This is not the affluent communities for the most part, right? So if this was one of those affluent communities, you'd have
just call it
trucks
what
and
it is.
buses.
It's an African American community that people really don't care about. Jackson is not a one place that you call a staple where you want to live or where there's an influence of money coming into those situations. You know, Deion gave them a shot of income coming just to Jackson State and bring notoriety to the city.
Yeah.
Now people notice it because he's there, but all in all, Mississippi is not a state where people flourish to go to or where there's a lot of money invested, and definitely not Jackson, Mississippi. So he's right. In those communities, they're last things to get fixed. They're the last things for people to address until there's a crisis. I would hope Deion continues to use the star power to fix some of that. At least fix this situation immediately right now. Don't band-aid it. Let's fix it right off bat if they can. And I think he has enough star power and enough friends and enough influence with his advertisement and like that to hopefully to pull that together and help fix some of that community, because all in all, it costs money, but it's not enough money where they can't fix it.
Wow.
Yeah. This is one of the communities. I hope Elon Musk, like he did in Flint, I hope he comes to the savior of Jackson, Mississippi as well. Elon, I know you don't listen to us, but if anybody can pass that on,
he better.
I'm
invested in his company, and I got two of his cars. He better listen to me, guys.
Yeah. I hope he uses his ways to go down there and fix it like he did over in Flint when he went out there and helped. I think it would just be huge to get those people in that community back up and running, get their water right, get things going. And he's a person that has the power and means to be able to do it. That combined with Deion, man, would be a blessing. No one would ever see coming. It would be great for just to kind of get those things going. A blessing in disguise, I should say.
Got it. Yeah, that's true. And listen, Tallboy, we've had, and Montel and I have talked about this a number of times. Literally 2 hours after our show, somebody at ESPN is watching us. I'm just going to tell you because verbatim, 2 hours afterwards on the ESPN Sports Radio, they do talk exactly what we talk about. I'm just going to say that we do. So this could be publicized because, again, now it's gotten to the point where there's been a number of stories in the news today. You had the mayor, you had the governor going back and forth, blaming each other. So there's that political red tape. But now you got Deion coming out here and saying, listen, man, I got to take care of these players. I got to get them ready to play this game in Miami. So he's making his noise. Deion's got influence with folks that got money. Deion got money. Deion can get on Twitter. Deion can get on TikTok. And in 3 minutes, he can have helicopters or cargo ships worth of clean water out there. So let's see how this plays out. Again, let's hope it does play out and get better for them soon, for not just the players, but also for the folks in Mississippi. Prayers to everyone out there dealing with this, because this is not a nice situation. And let's get into this next story. Man, these first two stories, social impact hidden, are always hard, and this is a trip because we talked about this situation weeks ago. We talked about this situation when it hit, because listen, you this is in your neck of the woods where you know about this, and we didn't know the names. We didn't know who was involved. We didn't know what was jumping off. We just knew that this was an egregious situation. Essentially, again, 3 students from San Diego State were charged allegedly with a gang rape of a minor at a house party at a person's house. We have found out whose house that person is. Recently drafted and signed Buffalo Bills, I'm going to call him ex-punter, Matt Araiza. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. I want to be respectful of that. But Matt is no longer on the team. Yep. Matt has been released from the team because things are starting to fall out. We know who he was. We have the identities and the names of 2 other individuals have been charged in this particular case. And again, they were 20-some years old. The young lady was 17, underage, non-consensual from her perspective. So we definitely need to listen and figure out what's going on from both sides. But this man has not played one single game. He's been signed. He's been drafted. He was on the squad. He had a jersey. Now he's no longer playing because he's caught up in this madness and this mess right here. Talk to us a little bit about this. Did you know any of the players that are mentioned in this particular article?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know Matt personally, but I followed his career. I mean, I remember him at Rancho Bernardo, and I remember him now playing at San Diego State. He was a top special teams player in college football last year. That's why he was drafted so high. And, obviously everybody was celebrating that he made the Buffalo Bills. Now, with this situation going on now, It's a black eye, man, and it's not a favorable eye, and it's something that me personally I don't condone. I know they keep saying the truth is going to come out, all the facts and all that stuff. We always know it's their story, her story, and then there's somewhere in between there's the truth. Correct. Um, Me being the father of a daughter, it pisses me off. I'm disgusted with what's going on. And unfortunately, that me knowing Matt and kind of following his career, I can't lie. I have somewhat of a little bit of a soft spot because I know who he is, but that doesn't excuse his behavior, and he needs to be held accountable for what happened and was done. I don't know what happened. We busted this story, like you said, a couple of weeks ago, that this happened, and it's a stain on San Diego State, right? Stain on the eye. They just built a brand new stadium. They're getting ready to go into the season ranked to the top 25.
Yeah.
All this comes in. Now this part comes out with this ugly stain. To me personally, and people are going to be mad at me, this is bigger. Not only those guys that did this or allegedly did this falls back on the university because somebody knows.
Right.
Someone knew.
Right.
Someone knows. Someone knew. And the part that messes me about San Diego State, about this thing, when these allegations came up, unfortunately, they should have. All three players should have been set down for the year. They shouldn't have been able to play until this got cleared up. Matt was able to continue to play and obviously have a career there and have to the point where he got drafted.
Right.
That's screwed up, man. That's messed up on that victim's part and everything going there. So that means to tell me that, and I know why they didn't do it, and I know why. In the defense, San Diego State at this point, if they would have set him, they would have been sued by Matt because Matt would have said, "You hurt my draft status, right, by not playing, by suspending me for some things that I wasn't criminally charged with." Because if they're not criminally charged, this is a civil suit. Lawsuit, if everybody knows. That's not. They didn't find criminal negligence at least at this point. I don't know if they're still investigating or not, the police officers, but from the initial report, there wasn't any. They said there weren't any criminal activity that happened, but obviously something freaking happened, right? Something happened.
Yeah, and for folks that are watching, I've got it on the screen right now again for folks that have questions about exactly what the allegations are against Matt and the other two guys.
So this is a civil suit that's coming their way to figure out what's going on. It's a just freaking nasty story, man. And if they did it, they should be held accountable.
Definitely.
But I'm also, but I mean, I'm going to hold stick to the fire. Them three men are accountable. Someone in the San Diego State organization is accountable as well, in the athletic department.
So again, okay, and I'm gonna let you continue, but this is a repeating record that we keep hearing, right? We talk about this with Deshaun. We talked about this with some other athletes as well, right? Is it just, and I don't want to bring up his name because he has nothing to do with this, but just win, baby, win, right? Is it just let's play? It has nothing to do with the Raiders. I'm just using what they say, but let's just focus on the game. Let's focus on the field. Let's focus on the championship. Let's do that, and we'll deal with all this other stuff around it later. If we get caught, we'll come up with this story. Why is that seeming to be the mentality for these larger sports? And since we're talking a sports show, so why is it the mentality of these sports organizations to push aside morality, push aside the stuff that, again, we're fathers of daughters, so we're taking this person, we're taking it to that perspective. Talk to us, man.
That's an easy question, James. I mean, that's an easy answer. The question is money. Let's be honest, man. Money. They bring in seats. They bring it on TV. There are people that's watching. Remember, he was drafted in the 5th round. He was the highest special teams player drafted. So he's a commodity.
Yeah.
So I know why. I mean, let's not me. But the behavior, it's funny to me that the pinnacle of your career, the Buffalo Bills, say, "Hey, we're not trying to be involved in that. We're not. We're the ones that drafted and did our homework on it.
Yeah.
We're willing to cut our losses in this situation in order until this is resolved, and we don't want to be a part of it." They're in that situation. The school administration part is different because, like I said, again, if they would have set Mac, and I'm speaking on hindsight, if they would have set Mac during these allegations and there was no criminal charges, he would have turned around and sued the school. He would have, because he would have said, "You hurt my draft status. You hurt my draft status by not playing me, by suspending me for something I wasn't criminally charged with."
Okay.
So now he would have turned around and sued the school, and it would have been even crazier. So, but my part, I still think San Diego State should have stepped up and suspended him, in my opinion. Like, suspended him. If he was accused of these allegations, and that's for any player just from here on out. If you get accused of an allegation like that, they need to suspend you off the team until it's cleared up. whether it hurts your draft status or not. You shouldn't put yourself in that situation to be caught in these actions. That's what hurt your draft status, not the fact that we're suspending you. The fact that your actions are
Your
suspended.
actions suspend you. Yeah. Talbot, we're gonna get into your statement there, right there. I actually like the devil's advocate piece, and that's typically what I do: pour salt on the wound. So I want to hear the engagement, but still, you wonder about what the AD, the athletic director, was doing, because he knew, or she knew, they knew what the
they knew the allegations. They had to.
Yeah, they knew of this, and hopefully there were some investigation happening, and we don't know everything, right? We're Monday morning quarterbacks, right? We're outside looking in. We don't know if there's been some paperwork filed or something that happened at San Diego that says this. We got these others. We got all three of these folks under close scrutiny. But something had to have come out, man. Something could have been done ahead of time before it got to this point, right? A number of months later, and to where all this other public stuff has happened, where the guy's been drafted, he's been signed, he's got his jersey, he's about to gone through 3 preseason games, about to start, right? Before all of this happened. Why do we have to wait till to be glamorized until right before the season starts? And it all seems to be revolving around that. Again, the showman and the story of the glamour of the NFL, and here's this high draft pick, as opposed to the real situation of taking care of what happened between these 3, 4, 5, however many individuals. I just wonder why it took so long. That's me. I think
the situation of Saul Moss has been, I think it's kind of tasteless on the newspaper part to leak it to LA Times, to leak it at this particular time when he's going. I think that the situation's been there. It's been going there. No. I think the public pressure of saying, hey, this is a lawsuit, about you gang raping a minor is what got him cut. We got the scrutiny now all over the place. I think they did their due diligence. Hey, he didn't get charged criminally. There may be something along the way. We'll kind of figure that out. We'll do the Deshaun Watson and kind of sweep it under the rug for now and kind of figure it out. Once it went public, especially at the time it went public, hey, Buffalo's like, no way, we're not dealing with it. This is a nightmare that we don't want to deal with. Right. And unfortunately, it's a stain on his career. It's all about money at this point. They don't want to deal with it. They released it like that. So that's the situation. I'm saying, and I'm saying, San Diego State was and I'm talking about San Diego State first. They were in the catch-22. They were damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they sit him, they get sued by him. If they don't sit him, they're going to get scrutinized by someone like me saying, why didn't you sit him? Right? Because of these charges.
Yeah.
They were damned either way. I'm saying someone in the chain knew about this situation, and I don't know what actions they should have taken, but I think it should have been more severe than you just continue to play.
Yeah. Come on.
That's one. And we haven't even talked about the victim, man. We're talking about these 3 gentlemen. They're the victims. They're not the victim in this situation. They did something that they weren't supposed to do at a party. I'm just trying to figure out where San Diego State, just like I said, the Houston Texans are responsible for Deshaun Watson's behavior and let it go on. At some point, somewhere in San Diego State's organization, someone had to be responsible for that situation that went on and allow those guys to still practice and play, even though it wasn't criminal charges against them. Because in the earlier article, they said that campus police handed everything over to local police. Local police didn't find anything where there was was worth doing a criminal investigation.
Right.
So now we're coming back to the civil suit, which obviously the young lady and her family's decided to sue them, and now it's being highly publicized. So I think that civil suit is also going to reopen them to go back and reinvestigate the criminal action to see if there is really something there legitimately like criminal-wise. Because gang rape is a very serious charge.
Yeah.
That's not a civil suit charge. That is a felon. That's a Class A felony. Your ass is going to jail charge. 3 of you guys rape a minor. So I don't know how you're going to be able to win a civil suit without them going back and reinvestigating the criminal aspect that you guys raped a minor unwillingly. Yeah. That's the part that I'm having a hard time with this story and having a hard time getting around it. Now, again, if they did something mischievous, they need to be, they're going to have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
For the victim, I feel so sorry for the victim because anyway in this whole situation, she's scorned, right? She's scorned. At some point, they can say what they want. Somebody had sex with her unwillingly, which is justified as rape. Unfortunately, her bad choices of being a 17-year-old minor in a college setting where they're drinking drugs and be in that situation, I feel sorry. But her bad decisions doesn't warrant her to get raped.
True.
Period. It doesn't
Yeah.
warrant her to get raped at all.
Yeah.
And you know, as a parent, I'll be absolutely freaking livid if that happened to my daughter.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing the same thing. I would either want to press criminal
as parents, we'd be doing the exact same thing.
I'll be doing the same exact thing. So,
yeah.
You know, I can't see how people could get mad at her or be upset because I heard this girl and her family are getting death threats and getting all kinds of things the same way on Reason. People are bashing him and bashing those guys. So somewhere along both those stories, there lies the truth, and we don't know what it is until they investigate it and lay it all out. But I have the problem. What I have with the article and the story is, how can you go with the civil lawsuit and not go back and investigate the criminal aspect of it?
Mm.
You know, this is not sexual assault. This is not fondling her. This is not, grabbing her buttocks or even, ripping off her clothes and not doing it. This is gang rape. She's saying these 3 individuals repeatedly raped her.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is a fucking, that's a crime.
No, go ahead, brother. That's what this is, right?
That ain't no damn, hey, I'm sloppy, give me some money. That's a freaking crime. And right now, Ariza, who was the one that was going to be paid out of all 3 of them, because the other 2 aren't professional, they're still minors, they're in the thing, he's not getting paid anymore. Right. The only thing he got to keep is his signing bonus. And now he has a tarnished name in the whole thing.
Yeah, so, and he's not coming back, right? Again, no.
I won't say that, man. The NFL is so forgiving.
Well, yeah, that's true. As it came out of my mouth, I thought about that.
But he's not a quarterback, right? True. They're forgiving when it comes to quarterbacks. They're forgiving when it comes to Ben Roethlisberger. They're forgiving when it comes to Deshaun Watson. They're forgiving when those type of guys. Remember, he's a punter and a kicker. I don't know if they'll be as forgiving, but I don't think if he can get through this, I don't think it's the last we've seen of him. I don't. I think he'll get another chance because he's so dominant on the field.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
let's go ahead and go this route and respectful to the folks that are no longer with us. He's not a superstar. Think about the situation right here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Kobe's forget. Yeah, you forgive it.
Right. Kobe was forgiven 2 weeks later, and then after he gave Vanessa that 18 karat diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
It seemed like all
things
from the outside, everything was, but not making light of the situation. And if this is true, right, the story coming from her, then obviously these dudes need to be dealt with in some kind of way, some kind of fashion.
I got a question for you though, Jamie. Before we continue. What if the story is not true?
That's where I was going. That's where. Listen, that's where I was going. If this was a bad situation where she felt neglected and she wanted to make something up and she wanted to have her name in the paper and just trying to cash in, man.
Like let's say she was at that party,
bruh.
Some things happened, but it didn't happen the way she said. Like they repeated. Let's say something like that happened with her.
Bruh,
and we don't know until they do investigation. We don't know.
Yeah.
As far as the criminal saying, they were like, "Hey, it's water under the bridge. Let it go." But the civil's going to bring it up, and like I said, it should reinvestigate the criminal part. But if she's lying on this young man, or she's not, or her truth is not the truth that she's saying, that's some.
Listen, there's cameras everywhere. Regardless of who you are, when you are, what the situation is, someone's got something on video. And listen, if she has taken a polygraph, taken a lie detector test, and comes to find out she don't pass that thing with flying colors, and she didn't say something wrong, it's not.
So now, I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but we know these scenarios happen. What does that do to Matt's career? He had a promising career in the NFL, makes millions of dollars, better take care of his family for longevity forever. Be able to do whatever he wants. What I said about San Diego State, I would be 100% wrong. I would be wrong for, accusing him for doing everything or not doing anything or whatever the case may be. The anger or the displacement I feel for those things.
Yeah.
What if she's, I'm looking at the other side. What if she's wrong? And if she's wrong, man, I would hope there could be criminal charges brought up on her because this man lost out on a livelihood and she just put a stain on a multi-million-dollar company, which is San Diego State football, and she put a stain on the person that was going to make millions of dollars. And not only that, those 2 other men as well, those 2 other gentlemen as well. Like I don't even think those 2 other gentlemen need to play college football anymore with this situation going on.
Yeah, and that's so we can go down this path. If it's not a true story, that's going to be something still hard to shake for the dude. Right. Again,
That's what I'm saying.
right. I mean, long term, short term, whatever. It's going to be hard to shake. Just having that around you
Yep.
of the possibility that you was in a situation that you probably should have been. Something happened, but if it comes out that it didn't go down that particular way, still there's just that air of, look, I'm not paying you $80 million to bring this negative attention to my organization, my squad, into my locker room. I mean, again, that either way, their future value from a financial perspective, if they decide to be all professional athletes, has been affected. If this is an incorrect story there, so
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and like I said,
you can't get around that. You can't fix that part if this is wrong.
No, you can't. Yeah, you can't. You can't fix it. And I'm like I said, we don't know all the facts and all the story because they haven't released what they want to release.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see why the police of campus didn't feel it was a criminal act, why the San Diego PD didn't feel it was a criminal act. I mean, and why this hasn't went to court, or why those criminal allegations haven't been filed against those 3 players. There's a reason why, right? Because it's not criminal, but your charges are gang rape. Even, man, you got to think of this. If a person is gang raped in prison, that is a freaking felony. You're staying in jail for another 15 years. Now, to me, tell me that things gang raped a minor, there's no criminal charges been brought up. That's where my head scratch comes in.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I don't know. Did the PD drop the ball? What is the reason why there wasn't criminal charges? Because, like I said, this is not an allegation like, hey, he grabbed a girl's buttocks. Okay, unwilling to sexual assault. He got massages from girls. Not okay. He got massages from girls, and it was misconduct, but it was inappropriate. But it wasn't gang rape.
There are levels of severity to all these conversations. There are levels of severity.
And then not only gang rape a minor, a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, man. That'll put you underneath the jail, man.
Bro, that's me pulling out the gun looking for whoever the hell did it.
That's a dad's reaction right there. And that's a concerned citizen's reaction right there. Not even just that could be a concern.
Yeah, and so just speaking to me and you candidly, it's like, there's not criminal charges. Why? Because the allegations are so strong. Why is it not? What made them drop the ball and say we're not going to file criminal charges against them? Now, and we don't know. We don't know because we were not part of the investigating team. I don't know what, like I said, San Diego PD or the campus police found out or what made them do this. But it's crazy, man. I really don't understand that piece. Why that's there? Now we're jumping to a civil suit. What Talbot said?
Says, why y'all not talking about the other side? Montel, you sound like he is guilty as charged. Is he?
No. I just said if he was not guilty. Yeah. What happens when he's not guilty?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if they're 3 are guilty or not, Talbot, to be honest with you. I really don't know. But I'm saying the allegations of them saying they gang raped her, that's a strong ass possibility. I mean, it's hard to get confused about being gang raped.
Yeah.
I can't confuse being gang raped by nothing knowledge in that. I'm saying, why aren't they being charged with that? And if the story is wrong, that young lady needs to be charged with something because she just ruined their careers.
Yeah.
All 3 men, and she put a stain, like I said, on the multi-million-dollar business of San Diego State football. She's tarnished something. So something needs to happen on that end. I don't know whose story is right. I really don't. It's somewhere in the middle, right? Like I said, her story, their story. In the middle is the truth. I'm wondering why the police hasn't figured out what that middle ground is. And if they did, why did they say it's no criminal charges? Because if there's no criminal charges, it seems like the civil suit should be thrown out the window. Hey, they weren't fine. They already said criminally they didn't rape her. So how do you have the right to come back and sue them for gang rape when they were charged with gang rape?
One more statement about this. He says he has that right to sue, but the school has a responsibility to let him go or suspend if there is some negative light on any student athlete.
I said that. I said that already.
Yeah.
I said that they should take some corrective action.
I'm being respectful to the community here who's saying, bring back the previous statements. Listen, I'm the host with the most. Listen, I'm trying to
I'm already on your talk, boy, man. I addressed that already, bro. I got that one. I'm on that one. So I do, man. Like I said, I'm pretty torn, man. Like I said, I follow back career. from what I understand, he's a really good kid. From what I know of him, I'm not any part of the kid, but I mean, from what I know, he's a really good kid. He's a staple in his community, Rancho Bernardo. Great all around. He's always represented San Diego State to the fullest. So this is shocking that his name was involved in it. But again, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I said, if there was no criminal charges, I just didn't know why there wasn't, man. For me to grab my head around it and be like, okay, this is what's going on. I really need to understand why the investigation didn't go further. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And now you can turn around and sue him civil, and now it's blasted everywhere, and his whole career is right now is ruined.
Yeah, I tell you what, when this starts flushed out a little bit more, so this is the second time that we covered it. We covered this day one when this was announced, when we didn't know who was involved. We brought it up because Montel has connection with the university and knew some folks, and now it's unfortunate that you know even closer, right? Some of the individuals that are involved. As this flushes out, let's talk about it again. Tallboy, make sure you come on to bring some of your insights, because again, coming from an athlete's perspective, you can come in and bring some context as well to maybe that side, right? What that individual is going through, just being someone in that chair of an athlete's perspective, and now knowing that, you know, maybe my livelihood is no longer what it was 48 hours ago. What was she doing at the party at 17? Come on, brother. We've all been to college. We know how that goes. Come on, San Diego, Los Angeles. Come on.
Yeah, and like I said, I think a young lady's bad decision attending that party and drinking doesn't warrant her to get raped. Though.
Yeah,
that's not a warrant for her to get raped. And definitely, like I said, this is not an individual. This is a gang rape, man. She's saying 3 dudes jumped on top of her and raped her repeatedly. She didn't say they. She said the statement says repeatedly.
Yeah.
So that means after over and over and over again they did this. I can't. I have a hard time. Like I said, if her statements are true and everything is factual what she said, why is there not criminal charges?
Yeah.
Because now we're on a whole different ballgame, right?
Yeah.
But now we're here. The criminal charges weren't filed. Now there's a civil charge. But again, that key word, gang rape, and that unwarranted publicity just cost that man millions and millions of dollars. Put a stain on the $1 million industry with San Diego State football. You know, ruin those other 2 men's lives, right? Because like I said, I don't think they'll play college football again with this stain on their eyes. If this is not true, man, she just ruined a lot of people's lives going down this path. And I want to know why there's no criminal charges. That's my key question. Why is not criminal charges being brought up on that?
Got you. We're gonna move on to the next story, but let me ask this, because this is kind of a very interesting pivot that's related, and it's another one from Tallboy. He's asking, will we go this hard if Kobe's situation happened today? I added the today part, but if we were streaming and if Kobe was still here and the Denver situation happened last week, I think we would go. Look, we've gone hard on a lot of professional athletes, right? We've gone in on a gang of folks. We've gone so hard that, listen, I had to take a sabbatical for a few weeks because it's been so emotionally draining talking about some of these unfortunate stories. So I'll answer that. Yeah, we go in. We went in on my Pittsburgh Steelers, Ben Roethlisberger. All right. So there is no one that's immune to this, and the idea. So keep this in mind, Tallboy. The idea is to have this conversation, because no one's having the conversation that all of us are having right now. This uncomfortable conversation that makes some folks cringe, make folks wonder, is he right? Is she right? Who's wrong? And then what are the legal perspectives? What are the criminal perspectives and all that? No one's going into all of those different aspects of the conversation because they're scared to. Right, we not necessarily getting sponsored by anybody. We getting revenue from different other aspects. But listen, we can speak the truth. We can speak our mind and let you, the community, come through and say what it is. How do you feel about these particular situations as well? So yeah, we gonna go in. We gonna go in and we gonna talk about it. It's not gonna be pretty all the time either. We not listen. We haven't talked about the score. We haven't talked about nobody's shoes.
I know those dudes. I know some of those guys on staff and on the team. So I mean, I'm gonna be crucified, but I mean, I'm speaking my truth. That's the way I see it. I'm not going to shun from my truth. And if they have a problem with that, then they can exile me from it. But again, I think action should have been taken if they knew about this. the school should have taken more actions.
Yeah.
Not worried about the outcome of what's going on there. And if, then this wouldn't be an issue with San Diego State at all. They would have been removed from anything being tarnished. And I do believe at some point they're going to be dragged into this conversation. I hope no one gets fired. I hope nobody knew, was hiding any information, anything like that. I don't hope anything like that. I think the staff is a wonderful staff. From Coach Hokie all the way down, they got some great people on that staff that do great things. But I do believe at some point they're going to be simultaneously related to this situation because it happened on their watch.
Yeah. We'll find out. We'll find out, and we'll stay on top of it. So we'll continue to talk about it. Appreciate the dialogue, everyone. Listen, we got a little bit lighter conversations coming up, so we gonna go that route. Let me get a drink. It's just coffee, y'all. So don't get it twisted. I'm drinking here, but let's get into football. Let's talk about these lighter side of football. Let's talk about the lighter side of football. We got these teams that are whittling it down. Did you catch any preseason?
Yeah, I did. I watched a couple of preseason games to see if some of the college guys will make it. Some did, some didn't. That's part of the game. I think the most interesting comment was funny that I heard through the process of weeding down these guys. This is the longest interview in any job interview in history is to play professional football. Because remember, you go through training camp, spring camp, and then you go through this camp in 3 weeks. It's about 7 weeks you go through to advertise for a job, right? To apply for a job and show that you have the qualifications to do it. So, unfortunately, some do and some don't, right?
A lot of movement happened. Rosters have been whittled down, 53. You got some surprises. I think my biggest surprise, there's a lot of surprises, but local was Garoppolo. That was a trip that he took a pay cut and is staying with San Francisco. But you know what? This may be a baller move for him.
I think it was a smart move.
I think this is, and here's why I think that, because I think what's going to happen, San Francisco is going to go another route. They're going to start the other quarterback. They're going to see that, you know what, okay, man, they're doing okay. They're learning the process. They're learning the game. They're learning the feel of it. But, man, Jimmy's been pretty close before, right? He knows the situations. Yeah, we didn't give him no love. Now, he's not starting. Yeah, he took a pay cut. Hey, but Jimmy, can you go in and play and play for us 4, 5, 6 games for us and get us to the postseason? I think this could be a interesting time for him to maybe, and if he's got it in him, to come through and say, this is what y'all missing out on by not giving me my money. There's right there shining on the screen. Pretty shocking how it worked out. Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah.
But you know what? I think it was even a more strategic move than that. Now, Garoppolo controls where he wants to get traded, right? Well, so no trade clause unless he approves it. He has to approve the no trade clause, right? So he gets to command what team he wants to go to at a low price. So if he feels that he can go to New Orleans and play in New Orleans, and New Orleans is interested, he can say, all right, wait my no trade clause, I want to play in New Orleans. And they can trade him instead of where the situation they were trying to give him away to anybody they would take. That's one. 2, I think you're right. If he just stays and plays with the team, I think at some point he's going to be able to get in the game and still showcase his value as a player and be able to do what he does. And God forbid that Trey Lance gets hurt or something happens to him and Garoppolo takes over and moves them all the way through the playoffs and keeps it going. Plus, for the 49ers benefit, it benefits them. We got 2 quarterbacks that can lead us to the promised land, right? So we feel Trey Lance is our future. We want to go with him right now. But if anything goes wrong or the wheels rattle any bit, we got Jimmy that we can bring in and play. And Jimmy's smart. Jimmy knows, hey, right now they were going to give me away to a team that I don't want to be a part of. Maybe the Giants or something.
They was going to give him away. That's true. Going to give him away.
Sign that. I don't want to get away. Let me go ahead and sign here for another year. Chill. Possibly get a Super Bowl. But now if they want to trade me, I'm in control now. Mm-hmm. You're not in control. I'm in control. I can tell you where you're going to send me and where you're not going to send me in this 1 year, or I'm going to ride it out and make this money, and my value is even going to be more because now I can pick what team I want to go to as a free agent.
Yeah.
I think it was a boss move by him as an agent, big time. I mean, he lost some money, but, maybe this situation, money isn't everything where he's looking at the long-term effect where the payday's going to come a little bit longer. So I thought, man, Jimmy did it. He did himself right.
I didn't think
Definitely
I didn't
right.
think he had it in him. To be honest with you, I didn't think he had that business savvy in him. But I shouldn't have done that, and I apologize for stereotyping him like that. But I've heard and seen a lot of, especially football players, who are being really smart with their money. Right?
Yeah.
They're actually not using their salary. They're using their endorsement money, or if they're married, they're living off of their wife's money, and they're putting their NFL salary aside for retirement, things like that. So, what was old boy's name off the Patriots? Gronk, right? Gronk famously never spent any money from his salary. He just lived off of his endorsements the entire time that he was playing. Some of these dudes are doing it the right way, and Jimmy seems to be cut from that same type of cloth. So,
but you know what? I honestly think I think Jimmy set himself up because I think Jimmy's going to be the next quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. Okay.
I'm calling here first. I think Jimmy's putting himself in a situation where, okay, I can ride this out, stay here, or if you're going to get rid of me, I'm going to make you get rid of me to a team I really want to go to. Me personally, I think he's going to ride out till the end of the year, be a free agent, and he's going to get picked up by Seattle because Seattle needs a quarterback desperately. They're in the rebuilding phase. Jimmy would be the perfect quarterback, I think, going to that system with some experience, knows everything the 49ers is doing to be that kind of rival kind of guy. Especially how they do. I don't see a lot of other teams where you can go to and kind of get that. I just believe that Seattle, for some reason, just seems right. And I know 49er fans would hate it, but I think that's going to be that would be a nice fit for Jimmy to go in there, partner with Metcalf. You have Metcalf and Lockett as receivers.
That'd be dope.
I think he can do some damage there. But I know if he would have got traded, if he would continued and didn't sign this deal, they were going to unload him for pennies on a dollar to some team that they were going to have to face somewhere at the bottom dwellers.
Yeah.
Like the Giants or something like that, where he's going to get killed. I think him and his agent made a smart move and a strong move to figure out where he's going to go. So I think that was cool, man. I think that was a cool move. And 49ers are going to be they get the benefit. Period. We trade him. We're going to get we should get somebody that we want if he approves it, and if not, we can ride it all the way to hopefully the Super Bowl.
Well, listen, I got the first week's matchups right here. They play Chicago first, right? Sunday morning. We'll see how that works out. First official game of this season. The Rams hitting them Bills. We kind of know that the Rams are gonna win that one. No disrespect no disrespect to the Bills Mafia, but they still coming in. I don't think that they really. I think they still hungry. They not like. They don't feel like some of the other squads that we gonna win.
The question is, Buffalo hungrier though? Is Buffalo hungrier right now? Buffalo was almost there, and they got there. I think this is a good test, and if you're gonna beat the Rams, it's great to beat them early, right? Because everything ain't all together before they got to get.
We just say beat them at home too, right?
Yeah. You can beat them early at home, man. That'll go a long way. I think this. If you got a chance to get them, this is going to be the chance to get them.
Wow. Okay. We'll see. So I'm calling. So I'm gonna call these games right. So I'm probably gonna be wrong. So do not go and do a FanDuel or a whatever on me. I'm calling the Rams game 1. We talking about San Francisco and Chicago. I think the Niners are gonna pull that one out.
I agree.
Shout out to my Steelers. I don't know what to say about my Steelers there in Cincinnati.
I'm going with Cincinnati.
Yeah,
so
I see.
I'm calling right there. Especially with Najee being hurt, I don't see how they can do anything without Najee being there. Cincinnati just got too much right now.
Man, I'm supposed to be going. I think I told you this. I'm supposed to be going to a Steelers and Dolphins game, and unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it. But man, I'd probably just be crying in the suite if I was there, because I just don't see. It's definitely a rebuilding year. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Who you got the Washington Jacksonville game? That's a battle. That's a battle of the bottoms. Who you got on that one?
Jacksonville came. Man, I don't want to say nothing. No, you know what? Hold on. Let me pause. See, I got to think before I say anything. Because shouts out to my man Andrew Nixon. He's out there playing percussion with them Jags. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'll put it that way. I think it's going to be a good game. Yeah, but they can't do worse than they've done in the past 2 seasons. I will say that.
That's true.
What is it? The football team? Because it's not the Redskins. It's the Washington football team now.
Commanders. The Commanders.
Oh, is
They're
that
the
who they are
Commanders.
now? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
See, that shows you how much I'm paying attention to some of these other squads. I think Washington gonna take that one though. I just man, Jacksonville just did not look right, and they just couldn't get out of their own way. They just couldn't get any synergy going. But I'm gonna send some good karma to my man Andrew Nixon out there while he's playing during halftime. Let's
There
move
you
on.
go.
Let's
There
move
you
on
go.
before I get in trouble, man. You know what? Let me stop. One more story, but before we get into that last story, let's go ahead and do this right here. Shouts out, I see everybody that's watched on Twitter, man. Listen, told y'all to come on over to YouTube so you can comment and you can engage, but appreciate you for joining in anyway, but this is for all of y'all. We back. Got to push buttons while I'm drinking my coffee. Yes, sir. Listen, hey, I got to automate some of these triggers. Team No Sleep every Tuesday. Look, when we're not traveling every Tuesday,
Yes.
me and Montel got things to do. We got kids in school. We traveling all over the globe, doing our thing, living out of suitcases. You literally, you not at home right now, right?
Nah. I'm out on vacation right now.
You
Out here
see
in
them, you see
Minnesota.
what I'm saying? We setting up remote spots every which way but loose. But as
It's
we
funny you said
can,
that. I'm in Minnesota. Yeah, I'm in Minnesota now. I gotta be Friday. I gotta be in Houston, and then back. Travel. They're living out of suitcase. So I feel you on that.
this is what we do. But when we can, the plan is to still go live. At least have our session Tuesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Your other show, Straight from the Horse's Mouth. Talk a little bit about that, because I know things have kind of gotten a little tight now in terms of the timing that you have with some of the talent that you have. But still, let's go ahead and do a little plug for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Straight from the Horse's Mouth. It's the show that cuts out the middleman when it comes to recruiting and process of going into the collegiate football. I have a lot of players and coaches that we interview, and we just ask the hard questions. We ask their opinions of what's going on, how they do things, how things go about. It's one of those shows, definitely, if you have a high school student, their family, that high school student and the family needs to watch to be able to engage and hear what these coaches are saying, because that's the process. Not that sideline coach, not the coach that used to play, not a coach that has nothing to do with it, not that street recruiter. You can get it straight from the horse's mouth for coach.
Yeah, it's a dope show. I would tell you that for sure. Last story. Let's get into this one. This is a good story. I should have some music, some sound effects is what I should have, because ladies and gentlemen, the Queen is back on the court.
Yeah.
One more again. She's doing it one more again. And so far she winning. So shouts out to Serena Williams going out there to the US Open. This is definitely the swan song. This is definitely the curtain call. All those things right there. And her first match, she won convincingly, right? Which is, well, she didn't start off too good, but listen, she pulled that Williams magic out, and I saw a story when Serena and Venus started, they had beads in their hair, but when you see this picture right here, Serena got diamonds in her hair right now, so she definitely balling. She definitely balling for sure, right? When you got Beyonce singing your walkout music too, you definitely doing the right things. But listen, let's talk about this and the impact of the Williams sisters and Serena being undeniably the GOAT. Starting off that curtain call with a win. She's going to be back out there this weekend playing doubles with Venus. Man, come on. It don't get much better than that. You need to DVR that. You need to record that. And especially if you got kids, especially if you got a daughter, let them see that when they get out there and when they hit the court together, probably again for the final time. But tell me your thoughts about, again, Serena Williams and her impact for sports and culture primarily.
Wow. From sports-wise, she's the GOAT. She's the GOAT for female tennis. I know they wanted to mention Martina Navratilova and Chris Everett and all them, but, Serena's changed the way the game is being played and the way from fashion to style of play to just being one of the greatest ever with all the wins she has. I think that's number one. And number two, from a social impact, she's changed the face of tennis, especially for African-American people, right? For African-Americans, period. Guys and girls, because, we watch maybe Arthur Ashe a little bit, We really haven't had a dominant African American
Shouts
player
out
in
to
the
Arthur
male
Ashe,
side.
cousin of mine right there. Let me
Yeah,
just throw
yeah,
that plug in, part of the family.
absolutely. So we haven't really had a dominant African American dominate on the men's side, but the Serena sisters took over just like Tiger did golf. I
Yeah.
mean, a phenomenon. They came in the game. No one, people talk about how they look, that they couldn't play, and then they just dominated.
Yeah.
And then as Venus fell off, Serena just became better and better and better and better until where she's the GOAT. She's the greatest of all time. So I think it's very good for any culture, any race to see someone that looks like you being successful.
Yeah.
Because it shows you can do it too. And she's done that. She's been in the face of tennis. She's a savvy business. Savage is a businesswoman.
Yeah.
She controls her brand at Nike. She just does everything so calculated and so vicious, man. I think she's just the person that people need to look up to. Not just African Americans, but anybody that wants to be in that position of someone like her. Her story is remarkable, and I think people need to read up on it and follow it. And like you said, this last hoorah, this last dance she's doing, I hope she goes out and win her. But if she's done, she's already won us over 23 other times in championships, and she's won us in business and everything. So I salute to her, man, and I wish her nothing but the very, very best.
Yeah, I ditto to everything you said, and we talk a lot about, or you hear a lot of athletes talk about they retire and that they come back and they don't look right, right? Something in there, they've lost half a step or whatever the case may be. But Serena said, "Listen, I'm through. I got other things more important than the court to deal with. I got my husband, I got my daughter, I got other business ventures and things that I'm working on." So she's gonna go ahead and wrap it up, I think, regardless of what the outcome is. But she left it all out there. Look, we've seen good, bad, and ugly. Look, Serena has broken more rackets. she has said had more words with the line judge.
Mm-hmm.
She has told the press more things that they didn't want to hear, but then when she get out there with that ball and that racket, she lets the work speak for itself, right? And it's always been top notch. So yeah, it's really cool to have that kind of a lot of times sports figures say they're not role models. I think about the Barkley thing, right? But I really believe that Serena and Venus and what their father instilled in them from a coaching perspective, coming from Compton, talking about, oh, you gonna be the best. We gonna get out here and we gonna practice as long as we need to practice, and you gonna be number one and number two respectively, and you just gonna interchange every other year. So shouts out to the whole Williams family for what they did there. And if you haven't seen the movie, Will Smith in a little bad trouble right now, but he did a decent job. He did a decent job.
He did a great job. I thought he did a great.
Yeah,
he did a great job in that movie portraying their father. But I think the bigger message in that whole thing is just like, their will, right? Their will to be successful.
Yeah.
What he instilled in them as far. I remember when they came out, they always said their style was unorthodox. They didn't play like traditional tennis players. Who, these girls look manly. They look so manly to play. Just because they lifted weights and they did things early, and it showed the long term how he prepared them to be successful all the way. Their mind, body, and soul. I mean, let's be honest, man. Serena Williams is the LeBron James of tennis. She's
period.
She's by far the most intimidating, most athletic, most fierce person that ever stepped on that court, as we've seen so far. LeBron is the best athlete to play basketball. He's not the best basketball player. Michael Jordan, I'll always be lower than him, but I mean, he's the greatest athlete to ever step on that court, as far as I'm concerned. 6'8", and all that. She's compared to that. Her size, her muscle, how strong she was, her serve, her will, her competitive spirit, unmatched.
Yeah.
In the game of tennis, and I think we won't see anybody like that for a long time because there's only one. There's only one Serena. Like there's only one Tiger. There's only one Serena. There's only one Michael Jordan. She's that one right now, man. So salute to her and her family, and I'm sure she's going to be just as successful in her business. I hope she continues to promote tennis, though. I hope she continues to promote tennis, especially promote tennis to people in our urban communities, our Latinos, our blacks, and so on and so on. Black little girls, black boys, Latino girls, little boys. I hope she continues to promote in that realm to keep them involved in the sport as well, because I believe there's another little girl out there wanting to be Serena, but she just doesn't have the money to do it, or she doesn't have, you know, the father in her life to do like her dad or teach her how that was, or there's something else. So I hope they continue to she continues to promote the sport in that realm, man, so we can have more in the field, man. I think
more good stories, more good stories. Yeah, but I tell you what, next time we go live, you brought up Tiger, we gonna talk about it. Yeah, see, y'all thought I was tripping when I talked about the LIV.
Man.
Oh, what's top news now? What's on Fox and CNN?
Yeah, man, you hit me to that, but I was like, man, that ain't gonna work. And I was like, oh,
bruh, y'all thought somebody was playing. This is grown folks' money, right? And we got folks. This is turning into some real mess.
Yes.
And
PGA, let's be honest, man. Right now, before we go on, PGA is in trouble. They in trouble. Man. It's different. Like people would say the USFL, XFL, NFL, right? NFL was always going to trump them, right? Always trump them. You had basketball, you had the NBA, and then you had maybe another league trying to start up. NBA is always going to trump them.
Yeah.
LIV, PGA, LIV was like, we not only we there, we about to take over.
And we got the liquid funds to support it, right? They not bouncing checks. They doing direct transfers to people's accounts, and it's real. It's grown folk money now. There's conversation. Maybe it's dirty money because of where it's coming from, or again where they're playing sometimes. But a lot of these athletes, a lot of these players are saying, "I got to take care of my family today," and LIV is offering.
They can call it what they want, dirty money and all that. They're just trying to put the figure somebody that's doing what they were supposed to do a long time ago better.
Yeah.
PGA got long money too, but PGA ain't never tried to pay that kind of long money.
Come on now.
LIV is like, we'll pay that long money to take over what you guys have neglected to do on these ranked athletes to get our tournaments going and be the number one and get this TV sponsor money. Hey man, all fair and love and war, especially when it comes to that kind of event. And LIV right now is winning the war. That's the bottom line.
They winning, brother.
They winning.
So we'll see how this all shakes out, folks. If you got any ideas or any other topic ideas, we always gonna have our running show. We're gonna have our stuff to talk about. We gonna hit you hard at the beginning, but try to level it out as we move forward. But I want to talk about that. I still want to talk to you about ranking best college football coaches. That's been something that I wanted to dive into a little bit. I want to talk a little bit about Title IX still, the inequities from a payment perspective. Because when you look at everyone in the WNBA, when you add up all of their salaries, they still make less than LeBron, or we don't even have to go to LeBron. There's you add up all the salaries of a WNBA league, they still make less than some of the even
the players,
all-stars, one all-star in the NBA. So that's a problem, right? So I want to get into that too, but we'll say that for another day. All right, brother, take us out. Come on now.
Man, like I said, always, mental health is real. Please reach out to somebody and tell them hello, hi, and reach out to your loved ones and tell them you love them. And just do that check-in. We all need that check-in in today's environment with everything going on. Man, show a little love and you get some love back.
That's it, brother. We out. Team No Sleep. Y'all be good to yourself.